Pleasure to welcome you all to this conference. We are delighted to have the Jupiter Life with us, Dr. Ajay Thakkar, founder, chairman, and MD. Dr. Ankit Thakkar, executive director and CEO. So, a quick brief on Jupiter. Jupiter is among the key multi-specialty and tertiary and quaternary healthcare providers in MMR and Western region, with a total bed capacity of 1194 hospital beds as on 31st March 23. For the last 15 years, they've been providing healthcare in densely populated micro markets in the Western region. Under the Jupiter brand, they have 3 hospitals currently, which are Thane, Pune, and Indore. As we speak, we are in the process of putting up a new hospital in Dombivli with a capacity of 500 beds. They expect to come in by April 24. To summarize the key strengths of Jupiter, first, they are one of the key multi-specialty hospitals with a premier track record, with a strong brand. They specialize in all hub, no spoke model, which ensures quality patient care supported by modern infra and technology. They have an ability to attract and retain experienced healthcare professionals. That's very important in this space. They have a track record of operational and financial performance for the last 15 years, and more importantly, a diversified revenue mix. Extremely experienced and qualified management with a strong focus on environment. A quick brief on the expected IPO. The IPO is a fresh issue of INR 542 crores and an OFS of 44.5 lakh shares. The price band is INR 695 per share to INR 735 per share with a face value of 10 rupees per share. The issue opens on 6th September and closes on 8th September. And the anchor day is one day prior on 5th. We look forward to support from all of you. With this, I will like to invite Dr. Ankit Thakkar to make a short presentation and speak about Jupiter. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for taking time to come here today and listen to our story. I'm Dr. Ankit Thakkar. I'm the CEO and Executive Director of Jupiter Hospital. And over the next few minutes, I'll tell you a little bit of our story. And after that, happy to talk to you and take any questions. So, Jupiter is predominantly focused on the western part of the country. We have a desire, even in the future and the next phase of to continue focusing on the western part of the country. And Jupiter is a West India-based hospital group. If you have tracked all the listed hospital names in the country, you would see that organized healthcare is predominantly in North India and South India. There is very little organized healthcare in the rest of India. So that is where we come in. We are located currently in 3 cities, Thane, Pune, and Indore, and we have one more under construction now. So what is our thought process? Our thought process is that how do we select these locations? Our thought process is that as a health provider, as a hospital, we are located and in the future want to be located in those micro markets, those specific geographies where there is a dense residential population, where there is a need of healthcare and no supply of organized or specialty healthcare. So we want to be complementary to the community, and our thought is that we are not necessarily chasing the most glamorous parts of the country, but we want to be in tier 1 urban India, in western region, where we have dense population in a small area. If you think about yourself, if and I hope not, but if you ever need a hospital or a health service, how far are you willing to travel? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, not more than 30 minutes. That is not a very ideal situation. So we kind of draw a 30-minute map on a circle and see, are a lot of people living here? Do they have healthcare or not? And if the answer is no, then that is a good location. That is how we select the locations where we operate. In terms of demography and the payer mix, we realize that even though today India is amongst the cheapest healthcare anywhere in the world, even if you look at the cheapest countries, the poorest countries in the world, the healthcare cost is 2 to 3 times more than India. So even then, today, if you look at a common man, the healthcare cost is not very affordable, right? And everyone feels the pinch of a healthcare cost. And going forward, there is no way that the health inflation in India is going to be lesser than the general inflation. So, with healthcare cost rising, how does healthcare become affordable? The health insurance in India is very affordable. It is by far the cheapest in the world again. Like telecom is the cheapest in the world, health insurance in India is cheapest in the world. And with growing penetration of insurance, it will become more and more cheap. So we are wanting to address those communities and those people who can not worry about how will I afford the healthcare, because they have a high insurance penetration in those communities, and they don't need to worry about the cost of the healthcare. So these are some thought processes of where we are, what we do, and why we do. As I was saying, currently we are operating 3 hospitals. Thana was the first one which we built 15 years back. It is around 375 plus bed hospital. Pune we did around 5 years back, similar size, 385 odd beds. Indore is built for 431. Currently we are only operating 231. So once these get occupied, we have an opportunity of brownfield expansion in Indore, and we can add 200 more beds in Indore. Dombivli, we bought a land. Again, it satisfies that criteria of lot of residential communities, lot of people living there, lot of them employed in Mumbai. Employers provide them health insurances, but in terms of facility, they struggle, right? So that is where we have bought a land, we have got all government permissions, and we have received environmental clearance, all of that, and started constructing a hospital there. We are building 500 beds in Dombivli. So that will take around 2 or 3 years, something in that range, to get operational. And the best that I can do to give you a flavor here is to show you some pictures of the kind of hospitals that we have built, so that you get some idea. This is the first one. This hospital was built in Thana around 15 years back. This is how it looks like on the inside. This is the Thana hospital. This is the second one we built. This is in Indore. This is the front lobby, Pune. This is the front lobby of the Pune hospital. This is the third one, which is in Indore. As you will see that they are all large, comfortable spaces. They are designed keeping, your today's behavior, today's thought process in mind, where a patient today does not just say that no matter what, aap mere ko, just do this surgery for me or do this medical procedure for me. But it is about experience. Life today is more about experience. Today, when you seek healthcare, you don't think that the doctor or the hospital is doing a favor on you, and you shouldn't. Similarly, the health provider also should have a similar thought that there is no favors being done. healthcare should be provided with an experience, with hospitality and with dignity in routine parts of your life, no matter any service that you think of, that you consume. Is there a single example where you consume that service without your dignity? No? Then why healthcare? Why should a healthcare provider have that right to provide you a service not respecting your dignity? So our thought process is that we would like to give you similar experiences, like you're sitting here in this room and you are used to this experience. When you go to healthcare or a hospital, why should this experience not carry forward? So that is how these spaces are designed. This is on the 4th floor of Indore Hospital. We have a large amphitheater and a beautiful sunset view where you see a lot of people enjoying it. On the 6th floor again of the Pune Hospital, we have an open to air a garden. We call it Shanti Niketan, with a meditation tree, where with an accessible ramp where patients and families can have a fresh air. We are also very, very strong on rehab. We do robotic rehab for paralysis, brain injuries, spine injuries, and we do all the facilities. So there is no one or two brands that we focus on. We do everything from childbirth right up to heart transplants, liver transplants, cancer, everything. The reason of highlighting this is this is one facility which the country does not really have to offer in a great extent, and we think that a lot of doctors, neurologists, orthopedic surgeons, spine surgeons, they do a great job with the surgery and the medicine, but there are so many people in the country who are condemned to a life of disability on a wheelchair dependent, and that can change. That can change with rehab. So we have invested a lot into robotics and rehabilitation, and it should be amongst the finest facilities that the country would have. This is our ICU. All our ICUs, again, as I was saying earlier about taking treatment in privacy and dignity. All the ICUs would have individual cubicles, one-to-one private spaces, 1:1 nursing stations, large, daylight and windows coming in. So we try our best to elevate the mood as much as possible. Then some of the thought processes on the business model and the idea. I spoke about the location thought process some time back. These are the other two thoughts of coming to because we are in a financial forum today. So what are the thought processes on business and strategy? So we think that asset light models and hub and spoke models are models which are short term in nature. They are not models where the story can really play out well in the long term. We think that hospital and the pictures that I showed you, these kind of infrastructures have to be custom designed and custom built. It is not possible to just lease any building and repurpose it into a hospital and still deliver this quality of care. So we think it is very important to build ground up, design a facility which will serve the patients well for not just 1 or 2 years but many, many decades. And that is not possible in just repurposing any building you can find to lease. Financially also, so far we have debt funded all our hospitals. The debt has a finite life. That is a good thing about debt, that it goes away at some point. Right? If you lease, it has an infinite life. The lease never goes away, and the lease keeps on escalating while the debt keeps on going down. So over the long run, if you play the story 5 years forward, you realize that what appeared asset light is not really, serving your interest in the long run, because you already have a hole in the bottom of the pot, and that flow is never stopping. So we have chosen to be asset heavy. Everything sits on our roof. The other thing we have chosen is to do hubs only. So each hospital that we do has to have the capability to become a flagship in its own right, provide all services right from childbirth to a transplant to cancer, radiation to open heart surgery, children's heart surgery, everything, and operate at a full scale. So we like 300 to 500 bed odd hospitals, which can really service the community fully, and they also can achieve economies of scale so that you can derive good financial outcomes out of a larger facility. Some of the smaller ones will never be able to achieve that scale and never be able to create a financial result. So our concept or the focus is not on just having maximum pins on the map to show we have X or Y number of hospitals, but our concept is that each place we are present, each small community where we are present, we should do the maximum justice, both clinically and financially in that facility. Coming to some numbers, these are the occupancy ratios of our hospitals. Thana had 72% last year, Pune had 67%, and Indore had 40%. Then we added some more beds in Pune. So currently it looks a little lower than that, and we have a significant headroom for Pune and Indore both. ARPOBs were 56, 49, and 39,000 in the three hospitals, and Thana and Pune both have matured case mixes, and Indore can catch up a little bit in the next couple of years. The revenue with a 23.5% EBITDA and around 21% of groceries. So those were some quick financial numbers. Of course, in much more detail, they are there in the document. So I thought we should spend less time on numbers and more on the story. But that's it from me. Happy to take any questions or talk to you. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Shall I
Yes, of
speak?
course.
I don't need a mic, I suppose.
No, no, you.
Could you please give a brief